The Bride Series Collection, written by Shadonna Richards, narrated by Sarah Grant, L.W. Salinas, and Kira Omans.
This is An Unexpected Bride, The Bride Series Book 1, by Shadonna Richards, narrated by Sarah Grant. Chapter 1. It is better to marry than to burn with passion. 1 Corinthians 7:9.
You mean to tell me you can't find a decent man? Not one? Grandpa!
Emma Wiggins felt the blood siphon from her face. She could not believe she was having this conversation again. She shifted her hips uncomfortably on the hospital bedside of her ailing grandfather, trying to find the right words to say. She knew quite well where he was going with his comment. He was desperate to see her settle down, get married, and have kids one day. Like normal people. But after her previously tainted relationships left her with emotional burns to 70% of her heart, no way she was going down that yellow brick road to happiness again. There was no place like home. Alone.
Oh, Gramps,
she whispered, tilting her head to the side. Look, I promise you I won't end up dying alone and penniless. You have my word on it, okay? Her whispered assurance was virtually inaudible. Was that a promise she could even keep? She really didn't want to fall in love again. It would hurt too much. On the other hand, she wanted to give her grandfather hope, something to cheer about. Especially now, as he neared the end of his long-time battle with what he called a dreadful opponent that had a habit of sneaking up at the wrong time, prostate cancer. The long-term care unit at Mercy Springs Memorial Hospital was unusually quiet during the busy lunch hour. The place was tranquil except for the sound of the air conditioner gently humming in the background, and the odd clanking of knives scraping plates as some patients ate their meals. The aroma of hospital food filled the air. The scent of fresh-cut flowers she'd bought and placed at the bedside table wafted to her nostrils. She eyed his untouched lunch tray. The smell of mashed potato with gravy and sliced beef reminded her she hadn't eaten. Laced with guilt, Emma glanced down at her watch. She didn't want to leave him. Not ever. Not after what the doctor told her about his prognosis. But she didn't want to push her luck at work either. Her boss, Evan Fletcher, president of Fletcher Advertising, where she worked as an account executive, had been more than kind to extend her lunch hour to visit her ailing Gramps. They had the pivotal conference call meeting in half an hour with one of their biggest potential clients. She didn't want to blow this. Not now. This was a career clincher for her. But speaking of careers, her grandfather, whom she'd always referred to as Gramps when she was a little girl and had trouble pronouncing Grandpa, just finished a fresh round of chastising his only granddaughter for putting career ahead of love and family. If he only knew. She would love to have a family and husband, but... Her grandfather, Mr. Wiggins, reclined weakly and peered at her with droopy eyelids, his favorite pair of thick brown spectacles propped on the tip of his nose. He felt comfortable with them on, even while resting. The head of his bed elevated to a 90-degree angle. The green and white hospital bed sheets covered him up to his chest. He hadn't eaten much during the past few days, and he appeared older than his 80 years. Emma knew her grandfather loved her and wanted the best for her. She was also painfully aware that he regretted only having one child, a son, Emma's father. Oh, she looked like her dad. Deep, almond-shaped brown eyes that sparkled, dark, curly, long ebony hair that shined, and a dimpled smile to melt even the coldest of hearts. Always willing, always helpful.
I know that silly guy hurt you when he left you, but... Oh, Gramps! Why are you talking about that now? I'm so over him.
She emphasized the so and bit down on her lower lip. She wished she could simply delete her bitter memory of her ex-fiancé's betrayal from her mind. She longed to erase the baggage of emotional scars he packed her off with. Yes, her hope was singed during that nasty breakup period, but she couldn't dwell on relationships now. Her work was her love, and so was Gramps.
Sometimes you need to take your messed-up relationships with a grain of grace so you can appreciate when the right one comes along. I just don't want to see you let him ruin your chances of happiness with someone else. In hindsight, I can say that other guy was a goof, not worthy of you.
He struggled to lean forward and touched her cascading mane of dark spiraling curls. Emma was amazed at his strength. She didn't realize that many palliative patients had energy before their inevitable demise. In fact, she was always in amazement when she visited the quiet unit.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?